What it do, Moody? What's up? Chilling, man. Come jump straight into this goddamn Percy. As you can see, finally, after months, change of scenery. We back out on the porch. Probably was since October
Yeah, something like
when
that.
we were out here in blankets, shivering, forgetting to turn the light on because it was like the sun was going down so quick.
True.
So
Yeah.
finally back outside. Warning for people that are watching on the YouTube or catch the stream afterwards. If you see some swatting, is all out of self-defense because we haven't put up the bug prevalence around here quite yet. So just trying to protect ourselves from all these yellow jackets and other things that are out here right now. But yeah, I'm finally glad. Did you see you got short sleeves on? At least I do. You got your summer shirt on.
Sleeves, too. I got no undershirt on either.
Yeah, it's finally nice out. I'm glad. Hopefully this is a consistency that we're able to hold to for the next 6 months.
Yeah, that'd be nice
at some point, and not have to do this again. But finally glad that we're back outside on this porch. See, overexposure on the back with the sun out. It's like 80 some odd degrees out right now.
85, I checked. Yeah. That's basically at its peak. It said it's supposed to be 86, so we're basically this is the high for today.
Yeah, I'm excited. So that's my Percy.
Yeah. The one that I had was just the feel good moment of the week that I had. Just general things that were on television. ESPN put up a special for like World Autism Awareness Day, which I wasn't aware of until I saw this. But Lord forgive me, Dan Orlovsky brought his son, his 13-year-old son who has autism, to the show to specifically First Take, I believe it was, or I don't know if it was just Sports Center in the afternoon. It didn't, yeah. But he just took over and just drew Dan was saying how he can just go on autopilot. Like that's his superpower. So he just drew every single logo for every NFL team, like from memory and all this stuff, and they let him close it out with like this awesome monologue, like just staring down the barrel of the camera and everything, and Dan is blubbering. And I'm a baby, so I'm like, I'm in tears too watching it because I'm like, oh, this is so sweet. So that felt really good to watch.
Nice.
So that was just my Percy.
Yeah, I saw it come through my feed, but I didn't give it too much attention.
Yeah,
because I'm a bad person.
Yeah, and his son's name is Madden.
Yeah, I think that was like Madden Orlovsky. I was like, okay. That's what's up. Yeah, I gotta check that out. But I saw that come through the feed, and when I did not know it was Autism Day, but there's usually a day for something every day. I feel like every day is a day. We just don't know it.
Yeah, true.
There's gotta be a holiday or day
or awareness day to some
calendar that tells you what each day is.
Absolutely. So, but thank you for joining us on our episode 91. This would be our you got somebody off the top of your mind? I got a huge list actually right here.
No, I don't. So I'll let you rock.
Okay, number one. This is actually from Ranker. I don't know how I've been doing this so long, and Ranker has like the top 25 ranked by fans for every single number. Number one, Dennis Rodman. Okay. Lots of hockey in here. Sergei Fedorov, Hockey Hall of Famer, 2015 center defenseman. Kevin Green, Steelers. Yeah. 2016 Hall of Fame.
Former quote unquote wrestler.
Yeah.
He was on WCW for a little bit.
Fletcher Cox, 5-time Pro Bowler,
Yeah.
Steven Stamkos, more hockey. John Tavares. Tamba Ali, I was just like looking down there. Cameron Wake, he's number 9. Justin Tuck, 10. The next, do you have any clue the next basketball player? Who's the next most important person in We're 91?
Not David Robinson.
No. That's all right. Meta World Peace. That's where I was like, oh, wow. I was like, yeah, not just stopped right there, but it goes all the way down to like 25.
Yeah, only if we had this.
Yeah. And Ryan Kerrigan, 17.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan Kerrigan.
All-time leading in sacks for Washington. Yep. If only we had that website, 90 episodes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Yannick Ngakoue, remember? I mean, I remember him.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't need to bookmark this. Save. Yeah, there we go.
For 9 more episodes. Hopefully they got stuff like for records. Like, what happened at record 101? Like, somebody had like a 101 record that's like, maybe it's like UConn's basketball team or like something like that.
Or that would be probably something in baseball. Basketball longer games.
I think that's what happened when we get into like the triple digits. It's like we gotta start just like pulling records.
Yeah.
Like, what's a record that was set Like even if it's like 101 years ago or like something like that. It's like we gotta find something to continue this trend of fun facts. But let's get into the show.
Doors opening. Step back to allow customers to exit.
Hey, Anthony, you're my tag partner.
That's not from Moody, moving off the top rope. Let's re-up podcast.
A weekly stroll through the avenue of wrestling.
Follow us on our socials. Follow us here on this YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe, everything at Wrestlemania. As I said before, welcome to the Wrestling Recap Podcast, episode 91. I am the French Fried Fro Moody. This is my boy Samson right here.
I had to grab the phone. Got it. So I can keep up with what we got to go through this card. We're on the road. It's WrestleMania still. A couple weeks after that, but
Stand and Deliver is not this week?
It is this weekend. It is tonight at 7 o'clock on YouTube.
Yeah.
That should be fun, easy to access. So that'll be cool. And then Dynasty is next week. So we got some points basically 3 weeks on the line coming up. But let's get into
That's about to be exhausting because Dynasty is that's one of their big shows.
But this is also us coming to the end of a season.
Yeah.
Because we did say WrestleMania is our season ending as far as
because season 1 was shortened because we was like, all right, well that's just like obviously
we were figuring it out, and we were figuring it out, and we didn't even have an established date. But now season 2 is officially coming to an end. I don't have the records on me right now. I feel like I'm up by 1, 8, 7, and 1, or 11, or we have a whole bunch of ties this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have.
But we also did the whole year versus like 80% of the year because we started at All In, which is in
July.
Yeah, July. So
Early August. Yeah. But we have 4 points basically starting with this weekend with Stand and Deliver. But let's get into the shows and get right into the pop-up show. Not the pop-up show.
No.
The flagship show.
Yeah.
Of Monday Night Raw in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. For me, I had the highest thing on here. I wrote it as a primo. The first segment gave me an air of the authority, where it was just more so, once again, can't help but let your mind roll when you just have like you said, people in significant storyline positions. You know, we haven't seen Stephanie in forever, but we understand as fans like what her theoretical like power is in kayfabe. So
technically, not even theoretical. You're married to the
guy of course, of course.
You are the original
the $1 billion princess, all that. But I just mean like because she is a lot more real and tangible now. Like she's got her podcast and like exactly. Like she hasn't been a character in a while. So this is where like I said, I did bring up this being a primo because we get not her finisher, but a signature move of hers, which
that would be her finisher.
That's her most well known.
That was her finisher in the SmackDown games, but they gave that to most women. But that was like it was called the $1 billion slap or something like that, princess slap or something like that.
Because it's like any woman that did like a super kick, it was always called the chick kick, or it was like a roundhouse. So it was always the chick kick. But yeah, she was slapping everybody. Like she was the number one slapper. But yeah, I mean, Cody obviously always can get like. I mean, he didn't. I'm not gonna say surprised, but I was thinking about it because whenever he brings up his dad, I'm like, all right, we're gonna get some waterworks here, and it's like no, but basically Stephanie telling him that like you don't have it to beat Randy, not this version of Randy, and he's like, who are you talking to? I'm a 3-time champion, and you say I'm not my father. Well, you're not yours either. And of course, that's. He who shall not be named. He's become Voldemort in the WWE.
More allegations coming out. Not allegations, but I guess more context coming out to the stuff that he has been accused of doing.
Yeah, and then you get her signature or you get her finisher, the slap, And I was just like, okay. And I'm like, just thinking about my mind going in that moment. I'm like, okay, if she's a character, and like, Triple H hasn't done anything. Granted, we did see him in this episode come out and make a physical appearance, breaking up Brock and Obafemi, but he's usually also in the back.
Yeah,
but just as an echo of like, we like to make echoes of things in WWE. We're talking about Circle and Bloodline 3.0 possibly, like right about now. Authority 2.0 came to my head. Randy is champion. Like, remember when? I know you remember, but Triple H screwing Daniel Bryan and just doing what's best for business, obviously, at WrestleMania 29 and setting up, WrestleMania 30. So,
well, you're gonna have to get somebody other than Triple H because he can't do any physical activity like that because that dude has his health issues and whatnot. So somebody would have to be in lieu. Obviously, Triple H and Stephanie would be like running it, but they're not gonna get fit. Well, Triple H is definitely not gonna get physical.
Yeah,
Stephanie maybe would take a bump depending on the situation. Like Paul Heyman, when it takes a bump, it's like somewhat serious.
But... And then that seems like also a really good storyline just going in. You could carry that for, the year or 6 months or however long you want to go. If it's like, a reinvigorated Apex Predator champion with the authority behind him and like Cody's on the chase.
I'd rather, if that was the case, I'd rather you just like make Randy your champ the way, force it in like the way you did against, Daniel Bryan. Yeah. But I'd put the vision with him and just put Randy, Logan Paul, and
Austin Theory together.
Austin Theory as a faction.
Yeah.
As far as just like
that's a curveball.
Yeah. But you have this as Primo. I really don't have this anywhere on my card. If I had put it anywhere, it'd probably be a shake. Just because I'm like random for Stephanie to come out. It's always nice to see original characters that have so much gravitas, reappear on the show, especially Stephanie, who really hasn't been there outside of as far as
she's there ringside a lot of the time.
Television product,
but
she's
not weekly.
Not really there.
Yeah,
so it's nice to see her back, kind of like when Shane comes back or whatnot. It's always good to see them. Just random. I get you're an MSG. I get she's going into the Hall of Fame in a couple weeks and whatnot. Like I get it. Just I'm like, this is a random build. This is weird to add to the build, and when we get to the boutique and talk about SmackDown, I'm just almost done with this match at this point. But not to spoil it, but I probably just have it a shake just from like nice to have, but it was like okay, like it's just a weird build for me in general.
Yeah, I'm okay with that for sure.
Especially if Cody's just gonna be babyface.
Yeah, which we know he is. Yeah,
and even coming out of the results of it, like he doesn't throw you a curveball and turn heel and whatnot.
Yeah, I said
it's just it's just like okay, like we get it.
Yeah, but as I think I don't know if I said it before. I definitely said it all pod to you, but I'm like, I'm done with waiting for Cody to turn. Like you're just gonna have to show me, and I'll be surprised when that happens. But either way, that was the only thing. Like I said, that was just loose booking in my head where I was like, oh, the Authority come back, maybe that'd be cool. We did agree on all of the mids. You had this written. You beat me to the, filling this out. So you had it written as Roman and Punk just skip the words and just brawl.
Yeah.
And CM Punk, just to sum it up, CM Punk comes out on top this time versus Roman last week.
Yeah, basically a equivalent of what we saw last week from Roman doing to Punk. We get the opposite this week with Punk doing that to Roman, hitting him with the GTS.
Yeah.
Power bombing him through the announce table, and I thought it was just about time. Like not about time because they have been getting physical the last few weeks, but it's usually been like a 10-15 minute promo build for them to either do something physical. So the fact that Roman's in the ring, doesn't even get to say a word, and then Punk immediately comes out and then he just gets into the ring and they just start scrapping. It's like okay, again, thinking about the vignette that they're gonna show.
Yeah.
Right before the match, I'm like, you guys are building good content for this vignette, to make again one of the better builds. This is probably the best build, like I said, match on the WrestleMania card. So sweet, short, sweet, simple, nothing new. But again, I do think they're just continuing the strongest build for the WrestleMania card match on the card so far. So that's all I have for that. But yeah, that was probably my top mid on the show. Top mid match that I have here is Raquel getting the win over Io, and
with help from the Kabuki Warriors,
not
causing
even
distraction.
Not even that's Io distracting herself. I'd give this this is a clean win for Raquel.
Once again, as I would define, I agree with you. Clean as a heel.
No, not even a heel.
I'm just saying. Regardless, there was interference. Because that wouldn't have happened if they're not out there. That's still heelish for them to come out there and even try. Asuka was forcing Kairi to come out and
yeah, but why
attack
does
her.
Io have to do? Yeah,
She
why
does-
does Io have to do anything about that?
She doesn't have to
You
do
have to focus
anything.
on your match. That's why I'm like, Raquel just took advantage of a situation that had
Well, yeah,
nothing
you're
to,
right about that.
That had
yeah,
nothing to
you're
do
right.
with her.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
Like,
that
if
was
Io
like,
didn't distract her own self worrying about what's happening outside the ring, Io probably gets that win. But
Yeah.
yeah, she was like,
she ate
no,
that
I
Tahana bomb,
gotta
too.
damn near break my neck.
Mhm.
You know, suicide diving through the middle rope.
Yeah,
And
because that was originally when she went on the offensive to like stop them from interfering, and then after that she was like on the apron, and that's when Raquel like swept her leg, I believe, and she hit her back on the apron, and that's where we get a Tahana bomb.
Yeah,
coming from there.
Yeah,
or like that's where she takes momentum. I forget what the exact setup was,
Mhm.
but yeah, and that Tahana bomb is pretty stiff too. Where I was like, okay, well, she at least, I always check to see if they put their hands behind their head, and she did get one, but I was just like, ooh, okay, all right.
hey,
But Io's the best in the world, and she like, she's super bendy, like just
Mhm.
like
Gumby.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Mercedes is. She's just like that too. Like you can tell, like we can't see what their training regimen, but I guarantee you, it's plenty of yoga and
Mhm.
like Pilates or
Go to
whatever
that,
is in
that
there. Like,
chiropractor. That's just
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
for me, I'm just happy that Raquel got the win clean. And again, now that we have, kind of going into, I don't know if you have this. You have this as your shake. Roxanne returned earlier in the night, while Liv and Stephanie were having a confrontation. This gives me more credence to believe that Raquel is going to turn on Liv at Mania.
I mean, yeah, they both got momentum right now because I mean, even Raquel just beat Io on the same match. Judgment Day is up, like their stock is way up. So, well, we still got another week. I gotta see like
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks. All right, so I got this at like a 20% chance of that happening, just because that's more of like a wishful thinking thing. But there was like still air of like friction, but I still think I think that's too far back. I'll need to see a little more, especially if we're gonna like. There's a surprise for everything.
They're able to do it quick enough in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Do I trust WWE to do it? No. But there's enough history and backstory between these three women.
Oh, yeah, for
and
sure.
Raquel's ambition to become world champion that she doesn't need to side with Stephanie. She just needs to take out Liv to be like, I should be in this position, not you.
Yeah.
And you're holding me back. Zarya, Ulruka type of dynamic and whatnot. So yeah, I'm just happy for Raquel to get it. She's been stellar for like the last 6 to 8 months. Other thing that I found interesting as well, as a train just blares his horn super loud. Penta getting the win over Kofi in an IC Open Challenge match. The match itself, good for what it is. Could have been a little bit better. I think the more of the focus that I really enjoyed about this was the dynamic between Kofi and Grayson just continuing to dissolve. You see, there's backstage. I forget who was being interviewed. In the background, they usually try to have stuff happening. Kofi was continuing to talk to Javon, and it seemed a little bit more of a, not cordial, but at least like
I think cordial.
They're
cordial.
They were having a conversation rather than it being heated. And then Kofi, Grayson was looking like he was trying to help Kofi by interfering and trying to attack Penta. And Kofi's like, "Yo, what I tell you? Stop interfering. Like, what are you, a dumbass?" Basically, he said. And
I like that.
I'm curious
because,
to see how that dynamic plays out and where Javon fits into it. Is Kofi turning back to a face? What happens when Xavier comes back? Is he still going to be heel? Like, just interesting to see how it plays out.
I like just to echo your point with saying, "Are you a dumbass?" As I said, it's been really good with like the audio work that we're able to catch. I mean, obviously, it's been years of doing this. Even with AEW, also very good at like in the moment catching them, like when they're supposed to be talking to each other, and that being so important for that thought, because it's like, I think immediately if you're telling me to like visually just seeing somebody like, no, I don't need the interference, I don't need the cheat or the help, then it's like that's a face thing. But like you're still giving me dumbass, so that's like a heel thing because you're talking shit to your like presumed partner still as of right now. So it's like, all right, that's like once again similar to like what you said about like the caboose or Io concerning herself with like Kyrie and stuff. It's like Kofi lost that because he was distracted by his own partner.
Yeah,
really. So he ate that Mexican Destroyer in a very RVD type of spike, way too. So great sell from him.
And after the match, we get Penta announces that there is going to be the IC title is going to be on the line at WrestleMania in a ladder match, 6-way,
5-way right now, I think.
Yeah, I forget who's on that list. I think Rusev's on the list.
Javon Evans.
Javon.
Obviously Penta.
We'll look it up.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there's a 6-man ladder match for the IC title. Trick, not Trick. He's in
the US title.
Yeah, but the 6-way title match for the ladder.
Dominic?
I don't think so.
I don't think
he's on the card.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no way Dominic's not on the card. WrestleMania?
I don't think he's at the moment, but I think he might. I think he has the Finn Balor match.
Probably. Oh yeah.
If I don't know if they officially put that on there, but yeah, those are our mids. Other shake that we have on the show. We both agreed. The Vision getting a win over the Usos and becoming a new tag team champions with the help of I Show Speed, who got cursed last week by Danhausen. He came back, asked them to take it off of him, and Danhausen didn't. During the match, gets pulled into the ringside area by Logan Paul. He, for whatever reason, puts the brass knuckles on. And then LA Knight, who he was cool with backstage before they came out.
He was scared, I guess, when this happened. Go ahead. Yeah.
I guess so.
That's the only way it makes
sense. You're in a situation where, like, you should have just hopped back over the barricade, but you decided to put the brass knuckles on. LA Knight touches him on the shoulder. He turns around and wallops him with the brass knuckles. Yeah. And the Usos.
After that, he gives the brass knuckles to Logan.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously that's his boy. They're streamer boys. Mm-hmm. And as the Usos have momentum, he hits Jimmy with the brass knuckles. Logan hits Jimmy. And then, we get the
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, because Austin Theory was down after hitting, I think it was, was it not a 1D? I think it was just a Samoan drop. He was setting him up.
Mm-hmm.
But he was down on the mat and just hits a rollover, exhausted 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but new tag team champs for the Vision. I'm cool with it, I guess, because it frees up the Usos to be 100% focused on this Roman CM Punk match and possibly reuniting the bloodline. But okay, yeah, the Vision needs something.
JD McDonough, Dragon Lee. Those are the two that we were missing. And then it's Penta, Javon Evans, Rusev.
Okay, but yeah. It gives the Vision to do something. They got titles they could be arrogant with, and then the Usos just focuses them on the possibly reuniting the bloodline at WrestleMania, helping Roman out.
I'm just, I mean, with them being the remnants of like the original Vision, I still like the act, but I feel similarly to like how I felt about what is it, A-Town Down Under? Because I liked Grayson Waller and Austin Theory together as tag team champions. But, they did still go stale after a while because, booking and stuff. Granted, you have Logan Paul, so I think he's going to demand more attention. But I right now don't see... I'll try to remain hopeful. They are tag team champions. This is the best position they've been in. So, hopefully it's not just a similar situation to, the New Day. When they weren't defending the titles, they were just, holding them. Until it's all right, we just got to.
We'll see what happens. So maybe they might be tag team champions. But
I like the characters. Yeah, I do like the characters, and I like them holding the title. So,
but we got new tag team champions, and then there was also another women's tag team championship match. The Irresistible Forces defending their titles against Bayley and Lyra, the #1 contenders after going through that tournament or gauntlet. This finished in a DQ, and I would say I agree with the Bleacher Report synopsis of this, where the match was actually pretty good for the most part, up until the DQ, which just entirely let the air out of the arena, and you can hear it like a pin drop in there. We have, for whatever reason, Bayley, Charlotte and Alexa and Bella Twins ringside, and eventually they get frustrated enough to interfere in the match and cause a DQ. We are now set for a 4-way at Mania between these 4 women. I found this interesting. So when I was reading the Bleacher Report synopsis, this was on their first sentence. They're for the first time since the Jumping Bomb Angels and the Glamorous Girls competed in 1987, and they just left it at that. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I had to do a whole bunch of research to figure out that this is the first women's tag team championship match in Madison Square Garden since that 1987 match.
Specifically Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. And I was like, what are they talking about? Of course the tag team titles been defended on Raw. Like, I didn't understand the way they wrote that. But yeah, this was the first time the women's tag team titles were defended since 1987. So there's two things I learned. That fact, and then the fact that they had women's tag team titles in 1987, which is crazy. And so, that was on, I forget which show it was. I think the link it's there when you click on it. But yeah, fun fact that I learned. Disappointed that it ended in DQ, but it makes sense. We were building up to a multi-women tag team match at Mania. And we talked about Roxanne returning to help Liv. So, anything else you want to talk about the flagship?
No, that's it.
Head over to the bodega, NXT.
Yeah.
NXT Roadblock. So it's a theme night.
I didn't even realize until I looked at the Bleacher Report. That I was
headline. I didn't even realize too. They were also in MSG, not the actual garden, but their adjacent, studio next door that they have. Nice little visual setting compared to some of the other places. But this was a pretty decent show. You were higher on the main event.
Oh yeah, the match was absolutely great. This had to go on Primo, and once again, when we talk about setup, it's like this was also the main event, and it was worthy of it because like you said, or everybody can obviously see, Kendall Gray is a superstar in the ring, and her and Lola Vice's chemistry was great. Going back and forth, going for a frog splash, getting and Lola Vice getting, or not a frog splash, but the double axe handle, and Lola Vice getting a jumping spin kick, catching her right in the ribs. I'm like, oh Jesus, I know that hurt. And even early on, just the showing off the amateur wrestling from Kendall Gray, obviously, as we continue to say, it's just she was throwing Lola Vice around, but great chemistry between the two. I guess you could say arguably disappointing finish because it ends up being a tap out and Northern Lights bridge pin dual simultaneous situation where Kendall Gray is called the winner from the suplex and the pin, but for some reason there's a secondary. I agree with you.
There's another ref outside.
Yeah, and I was I guess
he happens to cast the other angle watching Kendall Gray tap out.
It's that's not how any other match works.
That she's been holding on for the last 5 minutes, and it goes off inconclusive, but then
Shawn Michaels coming out and being hey,
it comes out inconclusive, but we later find out on social that there is a triple threat tonight for the women's tag NXT title tonight. Spoiler: this is a champion. Because I'm not going to spoil it, but the ending of this match is a champion of the week for me. But entertaining match. I do think I wish there was a definite, but I get it. I think they're gonna give the title to Kendall, but I really wish it was Lola. I would be disappointed if Lola doesn't hold the NXT championship, women's championship, one time.
Yeah, I mean, this is your last shot.
Going to the main
realistically,
roster. I would think so too. That's why I'm
her character hasn't changed.
If she doesn't win it, I'm like, that's gonna be so disappointing. But I understand that you trying to get to the next generation of NXT. That Kendall Gray is clearly that next person to be the face of the brand. For the women's division. So maybe I might be convinced by the time we get to predictions later in the show, but right now I would have Kendall Gray. But entertaining match. I guess I probably just wish that Lola just won this clean. But this makes me okay, Kendall Gray's definitely going to be winning tonight. But I have this as mid-rising on the line, but I think you probably can convince me enough that this is crossed over the line to Primo. That I'd bump it up to Primo. I wouldn't have an issue with that. Let's get to your top mid.
I really enjoyed. It was the number one contenders match for the tag team titles tonight, or contendership, where Los Americanos wins against Birthright.
Bit of a surprise, but I understand it because they're main roster.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to give the main roster the edge in a lot of these situations. But
just enjoyed the match. It was fine, and it just makes me wonder of like, okay, how much are they going to be on NXT? Because that's the only thing. If they were to win the titles right now, I would still have this as like still pretty like predictable as far as just Vanity Project retaining and just having a good.
They're gonna have a great match, but I think Vanity Project's retaining because that's how it usually plays out.
Yeah,
that's how it usually plays out. But again, the Americanos thing, I'm just like kind of done with.
Yeah,
like especially because their matches are like kind of like Dominic, where it's just like I get it, you're cheaters, but like you do the same shit every week.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get the little plate, put it in our mask, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, but they're over.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But they're over with the crowd, so like. They got Matt Pop. They got a Matt Pop when they won. When they won the match. So I mean, I'm just the outlier here, but I don't really have it anywhere on my card. But I can understand. I can understand it.
I set up for pay-per-view tonight, so
yeah. We did agree upon our other mid. I was a little lower on it than you, probably. No,
same position.
Same position. Okay. Well, let's start with the one that was higher then. Jada Parker. Kalani Jordan 1-on-1. Jada gets the win. I enjoyed this match because it was pretty physical from both ends. Between Jada and Kalani, I thought that looked really good. Jada eventually getting the win, but then it carried over backstage as they were still brawling, and Kalani ended up jumping her, hitting her with a trash can and a couple stomps backstage. And I don't know if we have anything announced yet. I got to look at the card, but I would imagine there's some type of stipulation match, exactly. Like a street fight or something.
Because afterwards, we see that Kaylani's beating Jada up backstage.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. She hit her with the trash can and
yeah. I hate you. Also, that just takes me into the other mid too, because I mean, the other thing that got me over with Keanu Carver was, hate to skip to the end of it, but surprisingly to me, got the win. But just due to help from Josh Briggs, who was the special guest referee during their match because they've been so destructive fighting each other. And Josh Briggs gives a big boot to Jasper Troy because he gave him a push during the match. And Keanu Carver was able to get him up for a power slam, 1, 2, 3.
Great physical feat of strength. To see.
Impressive for sure. And even afterwards, Josh Briggs lays out Keanu Carver. So then Keanu Carver's backstage yelling at Robert Stone, interim GM, where I was just like, if he's so unhinged, that's like,
yeah.
And it's funny because I think, I guess also credit to Robert Stone in this segment where I'm like, oh yeah, he's like a little bitch. Like, he's scared to death of it. He's like, okay, all right. I can't do it right now, but like, all right, next week, I got you. All right. Like the three of you in a three-way.
Oh, they made it for next week, not tonight?
Yeah, it's a three-way between all three of them.
Okay. So. I thought that was tonight, but that makes sense. Yeah. Like they usually keep these cards pretty lean.
Yeah.
So, I enjoyed the match, and Keanu Carver they've done a good job of building him since he's debuted and whatnot. That I'm like, I like the look, I like the intensity. Obviously, the promo work is always going to take a little bit longer to polish up and make it feel a little bit more organic. Right now, it feels like he's still kind of like reading lines a little bit, but it's not like delivered in a very poor way. It's just like, okay, just got to feel more in tune with the character that you're trying to present. But I don't think he's far off. But yeah, Keanu Carver, like you said, Braun Breaker, and I was like maybe Obafemi, but I probably agree with you on the Braun Breaker because I think Obafemi is a little different type of dominant force. I think he's more in similar, especially with their football backgrounds, to be a Braun Breaker of this new generation of talent.
Yeah.
So, Shake, one that we agreed upon, the only one I have, the opening of the show, Mike Santana and OTM get the win over Dark State. Good match. This was a great showcase for Mike Santana, the hometown guy.
Yeah.
Quick, simple, but entertaining way to start the show. So that's pretty much it, but nothing too surprising.
Yeah, not much else to mention, but the other Shake, Elio LaFleur was backstage and come to find out that he told us that he had shoulder tears.
Yeah, torn rotator cuff, I think.
Yeah. So 6
months.
Yeah. I think he said 6 months in that segment. Yeah. So he's out. He's relinquishing the speed title. So get well soon. But and then the other Shake I had was just a typical contract signing because whenever you see some tables and a contract signing, people are going through the tables.
Yeah.
Only one person did. Yeah. It's supposed to be two.
Joe Hendry, thankfully, he did not get seriously hurt because he was supposed to go through that table, but missed and
Ethan
looked
Page,
like he went through by his neck.
Yeah, Ethan Page did Ego's Edge, but didn't get all of it. And
Joe Henry's a big dude.
Yeah, and Tony D'Angelo hit forget about it on Joe Hendry. Or not Joe Hendry, Ricky Sainz.
Ricky Sainz, yeah. I want to also call out, it was in regards to the speed title. Eli Knight has a new name.
Oh, yeah. I did see this. Remind me? It's like
EK Prosper.
Okay.
So the same thing like they did with JC Mateo. Yeah. And there's another person that they took the first two initials and added a random name to it at the end. We did that with Eli Knight, which makes sense because of like you have Eli Knight, Kevin Knight.
Yeah.
You know, this you have LA Knight as well.
Exactly.
So it's just like, okay, we gotta
do something
cut back on this. But anything else from the theme show of NXT?
Nah, that's it.
Get into Dynamite, the coffee shop, and this took place. This is in Winnipeg. And I bring that up because the first 30 minutes of this show was all Winnipeg based with the return of your boy.
Yeah, for sure.
Chris Jericho, the cornerstone, as he recently has trademarked.
Yeah.
To AEW saying he is back home. That's all he said. So I have this as a low mid, just for the fact that or mid stable. I guess it was the second quality mid on here. As far as ranking, just for the fact, nothing was much said. So it's like, okay, cool. I'm glad that we're done with this fucking back and forth of where's Jericho going to be? When is he going to return to WWE? There's that in the third. I'm like, okay, fine. We're done with that conversation. Now I'm curious do I think this is a long-term thing or is it just Jericho's last hurrah in AEW for up until World's End?
Yeah.
And then he eventually goes back to WWE. But either that, I'm like, okay, even if he came to WWE, I think it'd probably be more intrigue just for the fact that, okay, this feels like the end of Jericho's career and he's kind of wrapping it up. AEW, I feel like you've already kind of did everything, but the same thing with WWE. It's like, if he came to WWE, I don't think he would have a Punk storyline because Punk had stuff to actually finish. Jericho's done everything.
Yeah.
So for him to come back to WWE, the initial pop, like I said, would be fun and you hear break the walls down and everything. But after that, I'm like,
I can think
do I care to see Jericho in the main event scene? I can
think of one blood feud. An actual blood feud. But this is also
Kevin Owens.
Yeah. But that's if he comes back also.
Yeah.
We get Jericho and Kevin Owens is healthy. But I'm like, that's also kind of tongue in cheek. It wouldn't be a blood feud, but there's gotta be an acknowledgement of the Festival of Friendship that went wrong.
It'd be dope if he got the IC title and was just I gotta
10 times
and just be I'm gonna be the best IC champion of all time, and this is gonna be my title and whatnot, and kind of lay claim to that. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Him and Penta in a match, that'd be sick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, shout out to Jericho coming back home, literally in Winnipeg, which is where he's from, and that basically kicked off the show, and that was a good surprise. Even though it was spoiled on the dirt sheets that there was rumor that he was going early in the day. It came on the dirt sheets that Jericho could be returning as soon as tonight's Dynamite.
Okay. I'm glad I'm not in the dirt sheets because
I don't be them either. You just scroll through the socials, and that's what happens when you follow 5 wrestling subreddits.
Yeah.
Go to Primos.
Yeah. I low key because I know you don't be watching Collision.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is a champion of the week. So maybe I should hang on to it for that. But because I put this in top shelf just because it was just so ridiculous. And I love gimmick shit. But regardless, it does have the setup starts here. We get the segment of Cope and Cage with steel chairs looking for FTR, which was funny as hell. You said you enjoyed, Renee is interviewing them, hey, what's going on here? It's hey, we're ready to shut down anybody who's in our way. And then Christian had to hit her with a chair.
No, it's not in our way.
Yeah. But
and then they go find the 14th and 15th member of the Don Callis family.
Yeah, Rocky Romero and Trent Barretta.
Yeah, and Christian is I think they're in our way. And it was like, I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, I put that as shake, but I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. And then I have to mention it, but they were able to find them on Collision because, like you said, the Don Callis family they gave it up because they got their asses beat. They're like, they're not here. They're on Collision tomorrow. So they show up on Collision and interfere in FTR's match there, and come to like try to hit Cash Wheeler with a concerto, and and there was a security spot in there where like a security and this was AEW regular, not like goons, not like Seth's goons and like hoods or nothing not hired muscle. This is kayfabe security where I saw him throw punches. He was giving punches to Cope, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, so in my immediate shock, I had this as top shelf, but then I was like, okay, I can actually compress this into like a very high primo for my champions of the week, but I still got to explain since it went across both shows. This week, Cope and Cage were hunting down FTR until they got their hands on. I was like, what the hell? So,
yeah. Hey, and part of the appeal
is too interesting to ignore. Where I'm like,
hey, that's part of the appeals of like the champions of the week. It's like you could talk about the segment, but the appeals also is like what kind of social, pop cultural reference are you going to associate it with that? So the intrigue is built for me to figure out what that might be in relation to that. But specifically on Dynamite, we both agreed, and I already knew as soon as I saw the card for the night, for the match, for the week, for the show. Repeating myself.
That's all right.
Ospreay and Pac. Ospreay getting the win over Pac. That's that Pac. That's how it should be said, but it's Pac. But yeah, Ospreay getting the win over Pac. Great match. Obviously, again, you didn't even need to watch the match to know that like the match was going to be A+, and it definitely was an A+ match. Yeah, like nothing you could. It's obvious about that, and then I really enjoyed the post-match beatdown that the Death Riders gave to Will Ospreay. Had his head in between the chair, and Claudio looks like he's about to, curb stomp him on there, and Moxley stops him and is like basically like use your head next time because if you don't, you're gonna lose it. So thought it would continue in a good build for their match at Dynasty next week.
Yeah. No, I agree with that completely. Like you said, this is like just from the jump, you're already like, oh no, this is gonna be great. And granted, Will Ospreay is too much of like, once again, I almost thought about, well, I mean, you know me, like some in-ring work is always going to work for me. So there's no way I could put it in mid, but just with the predictability, like you would
it's super predictable, but
exactly.
Like, there's times where like the match is just too good to, even if it's predictable, it's like, come on now. Exactly. I'm not that much of a stickler to she's like, oh, I knew it from the beginning that Ospreay was going to win, so this automatically can't get higher than a mid. Nah, man. Yeah. Y'all put on A+ match. Y'all put on an A+ match. You want to go take him out?
No. I was right about to mention that. I was like, this Yellow Jacket is smart enough to he sees my slipper in my hand. So I'm not gonna move until he comes into range. But I'm just gonna swat when he's dumb enough to come over here. Yeah, actually, and I'm sorry to build it up because you said you can't wait for the pop cultural reference. I actually triple or doubled down on champions of the week. So I'm going to say I don't have one because I just said pending championships for creative booking because it's both going to Tony and to Triple H for showing me things that I hadn't seen. And I didn't have a reference. I was trying to think of something, but Tony for giving me security fighting back. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, that doesn't happen. And then Trips, we didn't mention it yet. What happened?
Yeah.
But
assuming that's SmackDown.
Yeah, exactly.
Other things on Dynamite. Kenny Omega, right after having a contract signing with MJF for their title match at Dynasty, was in a match with Jungle Jack Perry, Brody King, getting the win over the Demand.
Yep.
Entertaining match. Predictable. Again, hometown guys. Well, at least Kenny being from Winnipeg. Hometown. But entertaining nonetheless. Not good enough to push itself into primo, but still good.
Yeah, very good. Man, that national championship is like
paperweight.
Yeah, it's not doing anything. I mean, I like.
They don't even defend it unless you maybe they defend it on Collision, but like it's just a prop.
Yeah, more than anything, because like even when we were talking about like because we had the 20-man battle royal to determine who's gonna win it, and then it's like Jack Perry wins it.
Well,
or
Ricochet
won. Yeah, he was defending it
in the battle royal.
Yeah, Jack Perry ended up winning it. So
you didn't even have a match for it, like you know what I'm saying, like a traditional.
Exactly.
Like, there was no feuds or rivalries built around it.
We're just
Ricochet
doing loose.
Just won it, and then just was like holding it, and like, yeah, I got a belt. I was like, okay, good for you.
Yeah, because we were sitting there like, we were like, who's in this division? You know what I'm saying? And originally, remember, I was like, oh, this is just the black guys, division. And then they threw Jack Perry in there. I'm like, okay, yeah, that fits too, because he's already got the TBS title, and he's not touching Okada with the with the international title. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like you said, still fun match. And there was like, man, that, like I said, there was like 600 pounds of ass that I was like, man ass that went through that. Yeah. Yo.
I don't even like saying that, but you just say that. You're like,
that shit is crazy. But yeah, like Brody King, obviously, like his whole thing is that he's super physical. But that collision between him and like
Leona.
Yeah. Going through the table and like over the barricade at the same time. I was like, damn, like, all right, that's agile enough shit where I'm like, I was like, yeah, that's like 600 pounds right there. But yeah, that's the last comment I want to say on that. Also, set up from earlier on.
This was during that MJF and Kenny Omega contract signing. Somehow Mike Speedball Bailey throws himself into the championship scene, the main AEW World Championship scene. And I guess anybody can really do it. All you got to do is just call your shot.
Yeah.
And that's what he did last week out of the blue. But yeah, he comes out. Also another Canadian. He's not from Winnipeg, but Canadian nonetheless. Talks about, I'll challenge you tonight if you have the balls. And that match was made. Canada versus US.
Yep. He came out in his stars and stripes.
Yeah.
MJF.
MJF ends up getting the win, predictably, but good match. Speedball was pretty much dominating most of it from what I was watching. But yeah, I mean, MJF, just MJF, man.
Yep. Hits the God Bless America taunt and salutes and hits the Heat Seeker 1, 2, 3. So yeah, good night, Speedball. The last mid that we had up here was Mina aligning herself with the Brawling Birds to get the win over the Triangle of Madness.
Yeah.
Yep.
Entertaining match, fine. Yeah, like it was good enough to not be in shake.
Yeah, Julia Hart eats the pin.
Yeah,
obviously, it's not going to be Tekla. That would have been all right. That could have immediately set it up, for it to be Jamie Hayter. But granted, she is coming for the title, or she said that afterwards. So.
I wouldn't have been surprised if Mina got the pin over.
Yeah,
Tekla in this match. It would make sense again as far as building up them having another championship match. But yeah, good. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. You have some shake.
Yeah. On this show, Darby Allin and versus Andrade was set up for. I guess that's going to be the number one contendership match, or for the next person who's in line at Dynasty. So that was set up.
I know. I know. Speedball said that like he was going to get a title. I know MJF said that. No. I think Darby, it was mentioned in this segment that Darby had a title match with MJF for the title after Dynasty. So maybe he's putting it on the line.
That's what I was confused about, because like wasn't Andrade, didn't he have a number one contendership?
No, he was in the tournament to determine that, but he ended up losing in the finals to Kenny. Or was it Swerve? I forget, but it's been weeks. But but Andrade didn't even look. He looks like he hasn't been pleased with being a part of the Don Callis family for a few weeks, and he was kind of caught off guard when Don Callis said that he was going to be facing Darby. In this match. So interesting to see what kind of dynamic that plays out for that match next week. And I didn't know about this. I saw this on the what's the wrestling podcast that we listen to? The Masked Man. On their
Oh, yeah, I haven't listened. Actually, I haven't listened to that.
I didn't listen. I didn't get to that part yet, but I saw on their description that the Hurt Syndicate are back.
Yeah,
all three of them.
Yeah, they're all there. Bobby was the only one that was actually hurt. So
I thought Shelton got hurt too, but okay.
I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe so. Oh, I remember. That was the reason that we hadn't seen them originally. His body was hurt. But not only are they back, but this was on Collision. They were just backstage. Very short segment. Probably pre-recorded or something. But all three of them there, looking just as good as possible in suits, and saying that, I was going to say MJF, Lord have mercy. MVP, being the mouthpiece, is the one talking and saying, this is an official announcement from the Hurt Syndicate. Bobby Lashley is, medically cleared. And they're also recruiting for their fourth member. And that's all that was said. But I'm like, hey, there's a storyline in itself for sure. So
I wonder who that could be.
Something to look out. I'm sure that's going to take place a lot on Collision.
Maybe it might be Kevin Knight.
I was saying, who's black? Exactly. Who's black?
You find up what's his face that was originally part of it. Was it Cedric? Yeah.
Cedric, yeah.
Maybe I don't know if he's a free agent. But...
MJF used to be a part of it, remember?
Oh yeah,
so
that's a black guy. Yeah.
Hopefully we can get
like Kevin Owens in the New Day. Yeah.
Yeah. He was in it. So.
Anything else from the coffee shop?
No, that's it. This just giving me fingers crossed that I'm like, all right, this does put Bobby hopefully directly adjacent.
I mean, when he first announced that he was coming to AEW, I'm like, you don't need to be worried about these mid-tier titles. You should have been focused on the AEW World Championship.
Right.
The fact that he hasn't even thought about it is absurd to me. But maybe we get to that right now. But if there's nothing else, let's head over to the gallery for the Book of Wrestling. 3 on the docket for the Book of Wrestling. I'll start with my favorite one, which I think is everybody's favorite one. April 1st, 2001.
Actually, I'm going to start with that because this doesn't need an introduction. That's why there's nothing underneath there.
Yeah.
So, because of that, I want you to name me WrestleMania 17, the card in order.
Yeah, it was Jericho, Regal, over Regal in an Intercontinental match, retaining Taz and the APA versus the Right to Censor. Taz and APA won that. Bradshaw gave a great promo backstage.
Yeah.
It's a Texan. Like all that. After that, this is where I probably.
I was like, it's too easy to just like. WrestleMania 17 needs no introduction. So I'm
Raven, Kane, Big Show match. Is that after?
All right, go ahead. Continue. I'm still not telling you if you're wrong yet because I'll correct you at your end. But go ahead.
Test and Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle. TLC.
Give me the results. Who won which matches?
Yeah, well, Kurt Angle lost. Oh, he won. Eddie Guerrero won. Chris Benoit won. Chris Benoit lost. Because, backstage afterwards, he came in and attacked Kurt Angle and put him in the crossface. TLC 2, the Christian and Edge winning that one. After that, you get a little bit of a breather. No, you had before that, I believe you had McMahon, Shane versus Vince. Then you had TLC 2. Then I believe you had Chyna and Ivory, with Chyna getting the win over that and her only title defense of the women's title. Gimmick Battle Royal, Triple H and Undertaker, with Triple H getting the loss in that, but a stellar hit from the with the sledgehammer while he went up for the last ride. And then you get the main event with Austin turning heel, getting the win over The Rock with Vince, the help of Vince McMahon. But I know I missed
who won the Gimmick Battle Royal?
Iron Sheik, because he couldn't get eliminated because he had bad knees.
Yep. So you are 10 for 12. Yeah. I mean, really, like, if this was in an actual test, you'd be like 8 for 12 because you had an error carried forward. That's what happened. You missed the very first match. X Factor, X-Pac, and Just Incredible defeated Steve Blackman and Grandmaster Sexay.
That technically wasn't on the
That
wasn't the. If you go open up WrestleMania 17, that is not the first match.
Hey, I'm just saying that's what's there.
It's a pre-show.
That's what's there. Either way, still, it's not perfect.
How am I supposed to know the pre-show?
Hold on. Let me finish grading you, dog. Either way, you were perfect all the way up. Like even still, because I had the same thought also. So I'm with you. You're perfect. Chris Jericho over Regal, Taz and APA. You got that right. Then the three-way hardcore. Then Eddie beating Perry Test. Yeah, excuse me. Perry Saturn was there. Kurt Angle over Chris Benoit. Then you got Out of Order.
Yeah.
China and Ivory. That's
next. That was next. Okay.
That's the error carried forward. But you do remember Shane. You corrected yourself. Shane and Mr. McMahon. Then TLC 2. Iron Sheik. So yeah.
Yeah. Gimmick Battle Royal.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, still 9 out of 12, 8 out of or 10 out of 12, whatever.
One of the greatest WrestleMania cards.
That's why I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna put this here just cause. So a little quiz for you.
Let's take it to you then. Again, what also happened on April 1st?
Yeah, possibly the best NXT takeover ever. 2016, Finn Balor retained the NXT Championship against Samoa Joe in the main event of NXT Takeover Dallas. Also, Asuka defeated Bayley for the NXT Women's title. And Alpha Academy defeated the Revival for the NXT Tag Team Championships. This is right before, the Revival, they get called up, and Bayley for that matter. So this is you're getting the new generation coming in.
Mm-hmm.
This event also is considered by many the greatest NXT takeover all time. One of my favorite matches ever. The debut of Shinsuke versus Sammy. That simultaneously acted as Nakamura's debut and Zayn's last match. Yeah, awesome card. Very fun.
Nice. Last thing from the gallery, April 2nd, 1995, some random guys doing death matches in Tokyo, Japan.
Just some random guys.
Bridge of Dreams Dome Spring Full Bloom was held. On the show, the team of Terry Funk, Leatherface, and Shoji Nakamaki defeated Cactus Jack, Headhunter A, and Headhunter B in a deep breath, barbed wire board, and barbed wire baseball bat bunkhouse tag death match. What a mouthful.
And I just said some
random trying to cut a promo trying to say that properly. God damn.
Yeah, and I just said just some random guys because I'm like, man, look at Terry fucking Cactus Jack out there. Fucking
yeah, man.
That's of course, they're world traveled, but I know we haven't seen that shit. So I was like, oh wow.
We probably seen the clips, we just didn't know what match it was. Yeah. I've seen them in their bar mark, in the vignettes that they've shown about their career retrospectives and whatnot. But yeah, man. Part of it is I'm glad that people AEW pushes the limit, but I'm glad people don't really do shit like that.
Yeah.
I get it, but think of yourself, man.
Yeah.
Think of your health. That shit's crazy, but they're legends for that. Anything else from the gallery?
No, that's it.
Let's head over to the boutique. SmackDown. I do not have anything written down here, but I was immediately turned off of this episode from the jump, and I'll just start with my Reggie.
Mm-hmm.
Been teasing Randy Orton's phone call. Who's he talking to for at least 3 weeks? He was told to us that Friday, the person that he was talking to would be at SmackDown, held in his hometown in St. Louis. My initial prediction was going to be Ric Flair, and maybe he might act as his manager to, break his record or, act in that vein. Nope, it was Pat McAfee. That's Reggie, and it really just killed the entire show for me. And it killed it. It really is just that just.
It just took the air out of it.
I don't care about this match at all.
Yeah, it just took all the air. Because, oh my God, I'm in such agreement with you. Obviously, I typed it in here, but man, in his promo, he's doing all the talking because Randy's just being physically imposing over Cody after Pat McAfee comes in. But you're like, what the hell is he doing? He just immediately kicks Cody in the nuts and is saying how the company is failing, Cody's boring.
Apparently there's 5 guys doing 45-minute Iron Man matches every week. And I'm like, what show are you watching?
Yeah. And
this is not AEW.
yeah. And how Randy's here to save the company, blah, blah, blah. That's what I typed in. And I'm just like, man, this is so disappointing when I think, like, when we talk about, like, what's the definition of Reggie? For sure, easy is, like, if it's actively damaging. Like, this is actively damaging to what the main event build was for me. Like, you could have just not had him here and just, like, held serve. Like, even if it would have been boring and just had them, like, you know, effectively just
Pat
do like
McAfee to build up Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes.
Exactly.
Like I said it when we were watching, I was like, "You're Randy fucking Orton. Why the fuck do you need Pat McAfee as somebody to give you the words of encouragement
to be like, oh yeah,
you can do this. You're Randy. Like, I know I'm Randy. I'm 15-time champion. Like, what are you talking
why
about?
am I watching? Yeah, what else did he say? He's like, why am I seeing like guys in catering like shit in their pants or something like that? And he's like, oh, it's because Randy fucking Orton's around. Why am I watching basically bullshit on TV when Randy Orton's here? And immediately, I just want to give this echo because whenever they talk about saving the company, it reminded me immediately of when Jericho came back, like his return, and that was the
like
he's the Codemaster, to save the company from Randy Orton, which he did, so to speak. You know, just winning the title. That's all that means.
Okay, fanboy.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, Jericho's that nigga, bro. I'm saying, but regardless, I was just like, what I was saying, how I was like so convinced. We were both super convinced that Randy's gonna win, and I'm like, this makes it seem like
Cody's winning.
Now Cody's winning. I'm like, this is just stupid. Why is he here? So, I mean, I guess if anything, they listen to you in our discussion off pod when it's like, you know, I had the prediction of like, you know, I was pretty solid on three of the four top titles, and you were like, man, you're gonna have three out of the four are going to be heels, and I'm like,
especially main titles. The main men's titles are both heels.
And I'm like, Randy. Randy makes sense.
It's better to have heels during the summertime.
Yeah.
Because the summer is usually a little bit drier because people are out and about enjoying and stuff like that. But again, Cody's Cody.
Yeah.
So, you know, he has just as high resilience as Sami Zayn. But man, and apparently I saw this last night. This is a move that was pushed by TKO. And but obviously was approved by Triple H.
Yeah.
But
to have Pat McAfee involved.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's word on the street. You know, take that with a grain of salt.
I mean, that doesn't make it okay, but yeah, just mean okay as far as like logic wise. Like, why is he here?
But speaking of Sammy, you have this as Primo. Getting the win over Carmelo. While Carmelo looks like he jumps off the top rope, lands on his feet, but it looks like he might have popped an ACL or something like that, or hurt his knee. Ref is trying to tell Sammy like back up while Carmelo is standing in the corner. He doesn't care. He comes still and Haluva kicks him. Yeah. Gets the 1, 2, 3, retains his title. And you have in quotes killer Sami Zayn retains. Was that said on commentary? Or is that something that you're adding?
No, I'm adding that.
Okay.
You know why? I think Killer Cross would be proud of Sammy. So that's what I think that was. Like, in a certain sense of like, yeah, that's not heelish. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended, you know, with the Haluva kick. But, I mean, with Sammy being a face, that's an ever so, you know, obvious step towards, like, not being a bleeding heart baby face and, like, making sure your opponent's okay to finish the match and shit like that. He just took advantage of the moment. Like, hey, he's weak. Haluva kick him right now.
I mean, it's kind of what people have been saying to him the last few months. It feels like Cody said it to him. He's like, you know,
look out for yourself.
Yeah, you gotta take advantage when the opportunities come for you, not just wait for them to fall into your lap and whatnot. So, interesting dynamic to see what happens with that. But
well, we do know because this match was made because he was relatively goaded into it because Trick stole his pyro. Earlier on with Little Yachty with the best entrance in wrestling right now. Yeah. Or like at least top 3 for sure.
Him or Ricky Sosa?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Ricky Sosa. I mean, that's an over song, but yeah. The Yachty was actually all right. I didn't mind Yachty. Like, he actually kind of fit just for like to be there right now as a like hype man. Even like I said, even with the entrance wise, I was like, if that was
than Travis Scott.
That absolutely. Even if that was like, it made me think of like Swerve and Prince Nana.
Yeah.
Like where it's like that just fit perfectly. Yeah. Like even if you gave Swerve and Prince Nana that same entrance, I'm like, I think it would be just as good. But either way, good stuff from Yachty, and he goads him into it, stealing his pyro. He was like, "Show Sammy I run this bitch." Like, set off the Sami Zayn pyro, and they set it off. And Sammy confronts him, but Carmelo's like, "Hey, I need to see you right now, though." Like, so he's like, "All right, fine. I don't want to hear shit about it if I beat you," and which he does. So, and Trick beats him down after the main event too.
Yeah,
because this was the main event of the show. So
yeah, and we get Yachty and Trick standing tall.
Yep.
Yachty holding the belt. This should be an entertaining match. I'm curious to see what happens. Maybe we might get a reuniting of the Trick and Mello gang at WrestleMania because Mello's still tight at Sammy.
Yeah.
Who knows? But the primo that I agree with you on,
yeah,
and it's funny because, again, talking about like somebody's watching us or listening to us at WWE, I was like, damn, Danhausen's been on television, on WWE television since like Elimination Chamber, which happened like February.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, has he even been in the ring?
Yeah.
Like just in the ring, not having matches, in the ring. And you were like, yeah, like once or twice. And I'm like, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. And you still have gotten over, and your whole gimmick is again, everybody's loving it and everything like that. But I'm like,
he's only hawking stuff. He's selling T-shirts
and cursing people.
That's all he's doing. But he's making sure you're going to like shop WWE.com or whatever.
And
like,
we haven't seen him actually wrestle.
Yeah.
He actually got into the ring this week. Unofficially tagged in during the
that's an official tag with R-Truth though.
Miz and R-Truth. Miz and Kit Wilson versus
R-Truth
and R-Truth for their tag team titles. Eventually these goddamn bugs flying in my mouth. Let's get the fuck out of this country.
At least it ain't flying in your mouth like it did to Homeboy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the best thing.
Miz hits Danhausen tries to curse the Miz. Miz pulls the referee in front of him, and then Danhausen is like, "No, I didn't mean to curse you. Mm-hmm. Tries to hit the what's Miz's finisher title? Skull crushing finale. Lights go out. Danhausen escapes.
Yeah, which I like. I even like that for his gimmick, just because he's a wizard or demon or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's a phantom.
Miz eventually hits the skull crushing finale on R-Truth. Ref starts to count. 1, 2. For the third one, he pulls back, and then all of a sudden his elbow dislocates or his
shoulder pops out. Yeah, he's like,
he can't even count to 3. The Miz and Kit Wilson should be tag team champions right now, but the curse got to the ref, and just for that alone, that is great.
No, that was
great.
Yeah,
that's clever. That's clever. I thought that was really well done.
That's great gimmick shit.
Again, like typically this match probably just be a mid, maybe even a shake, but that singly alone raised it up 2 times to a primo.
And I think that also, in a sense, like that raises him up. I would say at least to the level of like where I would think where the Hurricane was. I think he's on the equivalent level of like top, like peak Hurricane, like where he's obviously all gimmick. You know what I mean? And he can win the Cruiserweight title, but to see this is the most we've seen his actual like direct utility in a wrestling sense. Like you said, still hasn't wrestled.
But right now, the only thing is like I don't know if this guy can actually wrestle.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it doesn't matter. It's almost like Orange Cassidy-esque. Obviously, Orange Cassidy can wrestle, but when you talk about just getting a ridiculous gimmick over, like that's the way you do it. Like, because that's his finisher. Like you said, that's Stephanie's finisher is a slap. His is the curse. Like,
and he, the fans had it too. He was like, "You," and then the crowd was like, "You cursed," and then like the crowd was following along with him too. So like he's over. Like I said, it's entertaining. It's just like now I have the question. I'm like, does this dude actually know how to wrestle, or is he just like a manager at this point?
See, now I think
I'm sure he can. You've seen him wrestle it in AEW, I'm assuming.
Yeah, a little bit, but like even still, like I said, he's more. Yeah, he's not winning anything. You know what I'm saying? But I just think I was like, it would be so dope if he was, or like even in a tag team, because I'm like, think about how broken that is. Because like all you have to do is like have your tag team partner start the match and then curse the other opponent, like in either one of them in the ring, and then some shit's gonna happen like throughout. Like they're gonna be down 2-on-1. It's gonna become a handicap match. Somebody's knee is gonna pop, or somebody's like shoe is gonna come off and they're gonna slip, or great gimmick stuff. But
yeah, that was great.
Yeah, between Tony for the security getting offense in and Danhausen getting this gimmick over, that's where I was like, it's champions of the week going to both Tony and Triple H for that. But yeah, our mids. I had Uncle Howdy getting the win over Tama Tonga.
Yeah.
We get similarly, you know, as you mentioned, when you get somebody on your team that's interfering, that's like their own damn fault, you know, because this time Solo Sikoa, he's such a bastard, you know, he just has to taunt Uncle Howdy and try to interfere. Tama Tongan's like, what you doing? I don't need that. That leads to the Sister Abigail, and it's a 1-2-3. And even with that, Solo still has the lantern, but Tama just takes it from him and says, trust me, and gives it back to Uncle Howdy.
Not even trust me. He was basically telling him, like,
he's like, we don't need it.
He's like Samwise. He's like Sam the Wise, telling Frodo, like, the ring is damaging and making you lose your mind and stuff like that. And, like, you don't need this. It's doing more harm to you. It's like,
you're focused on this.
The lantern is, like, the ring.
Yeah.
And, like, it's, you know.
I didn't think about it like that.
That's how I kind of interpret what he was talking about. And again, I just like the fact that, like, okay, we getting Tama, like, some real weight here.
He's
like,
the only other one with personality.
Like, he seems like the one that's like obviously it seems like, again, Solo might be about to get kicked out of his own group, maybe come back crawling to the bloodline, and you get Tama running the MFTs, maybe bringing another person that we don't know of to be a part of that group. Yeah. But hey, I'm not mad if Tama ends up being the head and getting a little bit more screen time and being the lead. So shout out to that. I think that was more for me, more entertaining than the Uncle Howdy aspect. I'm just glad that this nigga finally got his lantern back, so maybe he might be able to do something different.
Yeah, I got We're Not Friends getting the win over Bailey and Lyra, which I was like, I mean, we were watching Pop the Balloon, but you know, I watched that match the most out of any.
Yeah,
match.
You said it was a primo.
Yeah, but I also rewatched it in full, so that's where I was like, okay, I'm gonna come. But as I was, you know, cutting over intermittently, I was like, okay, yeah, they're doing some work. But yeah, We're Not Friends. They end up getting the win, but as we said before, this is WrestleMania season. This is all about the Fatal 4-Way at this point at Mania, because Irresistible Forces, they come down and they just lay both of them out.
Yeah,
both tag teams. So
I probably have that as shake.
But the shake that I did have for sure was Jade getting the win over Michin, and then Aleister Black getting the win over Matt Cardona. And that is it. Or not Jade, excuse me. Rhea. I don't know why I put that. Yeah, Rhea getting the win over Michin. But you got anything else?
No, SmackDown again. I was turned off immediately from the beginning of the show. Like I said it when we were watching it yesterday. I'm like, I'm glad they started the show with it, because if they left that to the end, I'd be highly pissed that I sat for 3 hours just to see Pat McAfee come out and be the person that Randy's been talking to for 3 weeks. Like, he needed some motivation.
That was tough, man. I ain't gonna lie. We saw that shit. I was like, bro, this is so ass.
Yeah, I didn't really care for SmackDown after that. Like, so either way, that's SmackDown. That's the boutique. Let's get into our predictions for tonight's NXT Stand and Deliver. Let me bring up the card.
Ooh, excuse me.
Bless you. Bless you again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Stand and Deliver tonight. It is in St. Louis, Missouri. We have, outside of the pre-show match, we have 6 matches on the card. Just to call it out, we're not going to take points for this. Pre-show is Hank and Tank, Shiloh Hill, EK Prosper, and Ren Sinclair, and versus the Birthright. You care? Do you have a prediction who might win that?
I'm picking Birthright because I hate Hank and Tank.
Fair enough. First match on the card that we have here, Vanity Project defending their tag team titles against the Los Americanos, Bravo and Rayo.
I'm still gonna have the Vanity Project. Granted, these are the NXT tag team titles, so I mean they could flip hands at any point in time. It's not like I need more story for them. You know what I'm saying? Because if they win the tag team titles, that just tells me it's like, okay, we're giving them more work on NXT, and they're gonna like show up on AAA with the NXT tag team titles. You know
That's a good point. That's a good point because again, like I'm still gonna pick Vanity Project, but again, I think this is more of a showcase that
that's exactly
knowing
what I think. It still get your young guys over
under those masks, and Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, and Pete Dunne also being somewhat of a backstage producer. This is a showcase to work with 2 A+ S tier hands.
Yeah,
that you're gonna give these teenagers, you know, one of the best matches of their lives
for sure.
So and put them over as legitimate threats for the tag team titles. So I'm gonna still go agree with you. We're both taking Vanity Project. Agree with you, but I don't dislike your prediction that Los Americanos could pull this out and get the win. To what you call it?
To bring it to
AAA and whatnot.
Just showcase it
and
there
just
too.
Show up on NXT and give the other tag team contenders opportunities to work with another Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne under the mask. The other main roster guy on the card that we have here is Miles Bourne defending his North American championship against Johnny Gargano, who says he really needs this match. Johnny's been in a funk, just planking anytime he can get, even in the gauntlet match that he ended up becoming the number 1 contender. He didn't do anything. Candice had to push him over to get the pin after Shallow Hill goes jumped and knocked out. And so, is this the same situation that we have for the Los Americanos and Vanity Project? Is this just going to be a showcase for, or do we actually get Johnny Wrestling back?
I mean,
he win the North American title.
Who else is in? I think the question is, who else is in? Because we know we're in reshuffling, like new era mode. So it's like, who's in Miles Bourne's rogue gallery? Because he just beat Ethan Page, who we know is elevated, NXT title stuff. So you're not working with him anymore. So it's like, who else is legit enough to even challenge for this that we would be interested in? You call back, Johnny Gargano could just be, enemy for the week. You know what I mean?
EK Prosper.
Yeah, that's one where it'd be like, okay, yeah, he's in that division, or could be
Speed division. Carver.
Yeah, Keanu Carver for sure. He would be there. Josh, I guess all 3 of them really should be. But yeah, it's interesting because it does feel out of nowhere, but the Johnny story has been here for a while, longer than we knew that he was going to be challenging for the title. So that's where I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. I feel like I still want to go Miles Bourne, but I'm gonna reserve my right to switch right now just because we still got more predictions to go through. So I'm gonna chew on it some more. But yeah, what you think? Well, no, I mean we go until the end of the episode, but I mean, what do you think? I haven't heard your thoughts.
I'm gonna go Johnny Gargano. I think we get
Johnny. And I can be convinced. That's what I'm saying.
We're getting Johnny out of his funk, and I do think like he can float between NXT and SmackDown.
Yeah, with the North American title.
Yeah, for a few months. It's not uncommon.
Because I can only think
it's Charlotte's won it down there as on the main roster.
It's only
Becky's won it as being on the main roster, like a title in NXT. So it's not uncommon for them to win it. Again, we said the same thing happened with Los Americanos, but I think Johnny, I think giving Johnny the opportunity to go back to NXT, I think is a little bit something more for him to chew on than being on the main roster, where it's just kind of like he's a little bit more aimless right now.
Yeah. No, you're right about that, because the thing is, you don't want him to get lost in the sauce. So, I mean, yeah, I do like that. Like I said, I can be convinced. I mean, let's see how many title changes we got by the end of it.
Yeah, so you're still chewing on it, but I'm going Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
Women's triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. JC Jane defends her title against Kendall Gray, Lola Vice. If this was a one-on-one match between Lola Vice and JC Jane, I would go Lola Vice.
My heart wants to pick Lola Vice.
I really want to pick Lola Vice, but I'm not going to be stupid, and I'm just going to go with my eyes are telling me, and it's telling me that you're building up the new generation of NXT, and that's Kendall Gray.
Yeah, because I can't. The problem with picking Lola is the fact that, like, I don't see what she does after winning. Like, obviously, I mean, you have the typical, like you said, like you would be defending it, obviously, but like, are these gonna be like we've already seen her and Jada with a feud. We've already seen her and JC Jane. Yeah, we've seen JC Jane. We've seen Kaylani. So it's like, unless you're gonna be here for another year and like you're gonna keep Kendall Gray, who we all know is amazing, like at bay for like 3 months, 4 months, and whoever else is like coming up, like a Blake Monroe. Right now, she's North American title division, but regardless, yeah, I feel like it's also there's numbers game, but do you think Fatal Influence is getting called up? I think that's the one corkscrew in it because it's like numbers game, right?
The hard part is the Laney Reed aspect. If you just told me if it was Laney Reed, Fallon Henley and JC Jane, sure,
yeah.
But Laney Reed, I'm like, I don't know,
because a triple threat has no rules inherently, so it's like numbers advantage.
Yeah,
goes to JC Jane. You know what I mean? That's a lot to overcome for both Lola and Kendall, who are baby faces in this.
But if this is the WrestleMania of NXT, like,
yeah, does JC Jane retain through like, man?
I'm gonna go Kendall Gray. I'm not gonna trick myself here. Yeah. I'd be happy if Lola wins. I want Lola to win, but my brain says Kendall Gray is.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I feel like she'll be like Sammy. I feel like it's almost like we said, she's overcooked.
Maybe she might return. Well, maybe she goes to the main roster, and a few later she returns, as the main roster act and eventually wins the NXT title. But I think she gets called up without ever winning the NXT title.
Yeah,
which sucks, but hey, it's happened to some of the best, so it's not uncommon.
Kendall Gray, I agree.
Friends go become enemies in Sol Ruka versus Zarya. I feel like this is a 50-50 toss-up because I think WWE wants us to think that Sol Ruka is the face here, but I think the fans believe Zarya is in the right. But she's supposed to be the heel in this.
Yeah, definitely. I have Zarya.
You have Zarya?
Yeah. I'm solid on that. We talking about call-ups. I mean, granted, we can have. It's not like Sol Ruka can't win the NXT women's title. She hasn't done that. It's just a matter of like, well, we know she's so scorching hot and so ready. You know what I'm saying? Similar to like you said, Kendall Gray being to like winning the NXT women's title. When it's like, when you got quality talent, you know what I'm saying, and you need to refresh the roster up there, like she can easily be on SmackDown right now. I mean, and then not for nothing. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm one of those fans. I side with Zarya. I would have been with one of them. Like, she hasn't been like directly, I guess, confrontational. But it was a justified boiling over. Yes, she should not have F5'd Sol Ruka and all that stuff, but it was good storytelling in the sense that like we saw her pass over her. We saw her like feel like shaded. We saw her, it over and over, as she explained. And it was even a good delivery where I was like, hey, I heard some like tears in both of them eye ducts, as they were talking. So even if it is a 50-50, I'm picking Zarya solid.
I'm going Sol Ruka. I think we might actually get a double turn here.
Okay.
Maybe Sol does something shady, to get a quick, a roll-up pin, holding the tights or something like that. Pisses Zarya off enough that she eventually attacks Sol Ruka and, beats her up to the point where, like, Sol Ruka is, like, put out for an extended period of time, quote-unquote. Maybe you might run it back one more time. But I'm going to go Sol Ruka, but through heel tactics.
Yeah.
That she gets.
Calling a twist of some type. Okay.
Yeah. So we're split on that. Tatum Paxley defending her title against Blake Monroe, North American title.
Blake Monroe.
Tatum Paxley.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can't be holding somebody's belt.
It's fucked up. Yeah, I'm just
like.
I mean, we know.
She just won it back You know what I'm saying?
Like, I mean, we agree that Blake is number 2 in the White She Devil power ranking. So she's either 2 or 3.
Who's number 1?
Maxine. We've always said Maxine.
Is she?
Maxine.
She used to be a White She
Devil. No. But remember, she is married.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that gives extra, like, she's real life, you know, she fuck with us. So that's, hey, that just puts her solidly right there.
Yeah. But I'm going Tatum.
Sure.
I'm going Tatum. I think, like, you got to get your belt back.
Yep.
And you can't be letting.
I'm okay. It's funny because I'm actually okay with this just because obviously Tatum has done so much in the past year to be over with me with the Izzy Dame storyline and, like, all of this, you know, I forget who was her former tag partner that left. Oh, Lyra Valkyria was her tag partner. So, like, going from, like, Lost Puppy to, like, her whole character storyline of Lost Puppy to, like, you know, being manipulated by the culling and all this stuff and just wanting to belong and stuff like that. I've really enjoyed.
She's gotten really over.
Yeah, she's over with me too.
Yeah.
And I think she's
cut some good promos, shows some good emotion.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. One time? This is only, that's right. It's only her only,
Second time.
What didn't she? I always get this confused. She won the
NXT Women's, and then this is her first time winning
with this. Right? So, either way, I mean, this is a 50-50. I'm just picking Blake because, I guess.
I mean, she says she hasn't lost it, but I guess this, again, I think this is another 50-50, but I would say it's more 55-45 Tatum, just for the fact, like, you've had this person's belt for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You can't do that. If you're a champion, you can't let that go. You can't let that slide.
And no shade to Tatum. Also, maybe it would also be more credence for Blake to lose, if anything, because I would have Blake more in the women's title, the NXT women's title frame, because, like, maybe we got a Lola Vice champion at face, and we got a heel from Blake. And I'm like, I could see that easily. That's, you know, the long shot. But
finally, the main event, Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Championship. Joe Hendry defends against Ricky Saints.
They made this tough to call.
And Tony D'Angelo.
They made this tough to call, for real, for me. Because usually a multi-man match, I would say, is when we were growing up, a multi-man match is always like, okay, well, the guy's just going to retain. You know what I'm saying? Joe Hendry is still new here, granted over as fuck. Like, not new in NXT, but I mean, like, as far as being a new signee, like, within, like, what has it been?
In 2 years, he was at Mania.
Well, no, that's I'm saying being legitimately signed and being on the NXT roster. That's what I'm saying.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I mean by being new here. And, like, Ethan gives me, I think that's another one where we're like, he's just too good, or like too, he could go to the main roster right now because I really would like to see him win the title. But I'm gonna go with Tony D'Angelo. I like, and it's tough to call. It really is tough to call. I think Ricky Saints is great because, you know, we have seen him. He can work. He's a tweener. Like, he can be face or heel. Like, at a flip of a switch. You know. And he's also somewhat undersized, so it's believable to have him, like, as a chaser. You know what I mean? And Joe Hendry, for that matter, like, he's a nice guy. Like, that's what I imagine his gimmick as. It's like, yo, he ain't gonna be willing to get to the grit and grind, that, you know, taking it to the streets, I guess, you know. And he's like, I used to have a family. I'm only here for one thing. But as I said before, Ethan Page is a real contender also. I'm taking the real world, like, maybe he's getting called up. Like, cause he's another guy who could, I mean, he's already won the North American twice, right?
He's won the NXT Championship.
Oh, he already did win it. Oh, okay. I'm tripping.
At least once.
Was that when he fell? Like, yeah, that's right. Because he fell on Trick. That's when Trick lost it. Yeah.
That was like the Iron Survivor.
Yeah. So even he's already won it. So I didn't even think about that, but I guess that proves my point even more so. But yeah, I'm going Tony D. Pretty solid on that.
I think Joe doesn't need to be on NXT.
Oh, really? Yeah, you got him going up.
Like,
instead,
he should have been up. Like,
he
didn't even need to be on NXT.
That champ needs to be on the main roster.
He easily could have been on the main roster from jump. I think Ricky's a better chaser.
Yeah.
So right now, it's a toss-up between Ethan Page and Tony D. I think Ethan Page. I'm gonna go Ethan Page because I think he's just better as the champ and the heel. Maybe this is his last time holding the world title before being called up, because I think he's been past due to be called up. Maybe you're waiting for Chelsea to get healthy again, so you can kind of reunite them on the main roster. And then again, I think Tony D just got back. It'd be a little too easy to like win the championship on your, just returning.
Yeah.
You kind of just accomplish all your goals without really any struggle. And I think,
he's been laid out. I think this build up.
I think you could do something in which like Ricky Saints and Tony D'Angelo kind of have a back and forth trying to become number one contenders to face Ethan Page. Ethan Page already has kind of a rivalry building up with Ricky Saints and whatnot, and Ethan Page doing the whole smiling thing.
Of course.
I think it just works out for him to be NXT champion again. So
I think
I'm gonna go Ethan Page.
Great pick. I say he'd be my second. I think.
Yeah, it's between Tony D.
It's
or
those
Ethan
two
Page for me.
because,
and then I would go Joe Hendry retaining, and then Ricky Saints.
Yeah, Ricky is last definitely. But I guess my thought is also, I'm a black and gold fan too, so it's like I have all the history in my head of like Tony D, and I think I don't know. I'm thinking of like whatever the wrestling badge would be for like OG status or something. I think that's gonna go off like at the NXT level or something, like because he's been here like long enough and so long. It's like, we know he's been good enough to be NXT champion, and it is a new version of him. It's a new gimmick, Tony D. So either way, still picking Tony D. Last thoughts, like remind me real quick. So how many did I book? I know we don't have the actual chart down. How many title changes did I book?
Right now, we have both agreed that Vanity Project is retaining.
Yeah.
I have Johnny winning the NXT North American. You have yet to make your confirmation on that.
That's why I'm bringing it up. Yeah.
We both agree Kendall Gray is winning the NXT Women's Championship.
Yeah.
We're split on Sol Ruka Zarya. I have Sol, you have Zarya. Tatum Paxley, I have retaining. Blake, you have winning.
Yeah.
And we both have I have Ethan Page winning the NXT Championship. You have Tony D winning the NXT Championship. So there's a lot of changes happening.
Yeah.
That we have predicted. You have a change. You have Blake winning. You have Kendall winning. You have Tony D winning.
Damn. Yeah.
So I guess that would lean to you, Miles Bourne retaining.
Or Tatum. Like I might be switching Tatum. Switch Tatum retaining and then have Johnny win. Because like I said, that build-up has been, obviously, at least they've had a build-up, between those two, Tatum and Blake, where this could go back and forth still. Dang, booking 4 title changes? That'd be crazy.
It's WrestleMania for NXT.
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, god dang. If it would feel like such a waste of like Johnny's depression, for him to not win the title,
Maybe you do get that spark of Johnny wrestling to come back and it just reinvigorates him even in a loss.
Well, maybe. I wish I had a quarter because I would really just coin flip it.
Tick.
Hey, whatever. Because we're solid on Joe Hendry's not hanging on to that title. Like I said, Vanity Project I'm comfortable with. Fuck it. We got plenty of other differences anyway. I'll agree with you on Johnny.
Okay.
Because we got plenty of differences. Because like I said, that's me booking fucking 4. That's why I said fuck it.
Could end up winning, and we're both wrong on that.
Well, that's why I said fuck it, because I'm booking 4 title changes right now.
Joe Hendry.
I know this is crazy. This is swinging for the fences. You're not gonna have 4 title changes.
But at least we have some good diversity in our answers and whatnot, and like we're actually gonna have a winner, most likely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There is gonna be a point to be given out, and we're not going to end up in a tie. Fingers crossed on these multi-person matches. But that is episode 91 of the Wrestling Re-Up podcast. We will catch y'all next week. Moody, where can they find us?
Here on this YouTube channel, The Wrestling Re-Up. Send us an email at thewrestlingreup@gmail.com and follow us individually. But like, comment, subscribe right here on this channel. And join us next week on episode 92.
Yeah, as we gear up for Dynasty and got more points on the line.
Yep.
Like
And hopefully be wrong as fuck again.
Yeah, 11 matches on that card. We did a good time on the last.
That was crazy.
AEW. We were like 10-1, and
yeah, you were 9-1, and I was 8-2.
Yeah,
I was like, that was Reggie, because you were like, this should not be happening.
We should not be that good at picking this. But look at everyone next week. Peace, y'all.